Welcome to the Literary Criticism and Theory lesson on Deconstruction. In this lesson, you will learn about roots of new criticism and structuralism and the beginning of deconstruction. New criticism emerged as a response to traditional historical and biographical approaches to literature. Rather than focusing on the author's life or the historical context, new critics zoomed in on the text itself. They believed that a work of literature is a self-contained universe, deserving of close, attentive reading. Imagine diving into a sea of words, where each wave and each ripple tells its own story. The essence of new criticism lies in treating the literary work as a tapestry of interwoven words and images. This approach emphasizes the text's formal elements, its paradoxes, ironies, and symbols, as keys to unlocking its meaning. Like detectives, new critics searched for the subtle connections and tensions within the text, piecing together the puzzle of its deep, intrinsic value. This shift away from the author's intentions and historical context marked a significant turn in literary criticism. The new critics argued that the value and meaning of a literary work do not lie in its historical significance or the author's biography but in the text itself. This approach elevated the role of the critic, who now became a navigator through the complex landscape of the text, seeking out its inherent beauty and truth. In new criticism, the focus is on the literary devices used within the text. Imagery, paradox, and irony are not just ornaments but the very foundation upon which the text stands. These elements create a network of meanings that offer insights into the human condition, reflecting the complexities and contradictions of our inner lives. As we move forward, the forest path leads us to the city of structuralism, a theoretical framework that builds on the insights of new criticism but takes a more scientific and systematic approach. Structuralism, inspired by developments in linguistics, especially by Ferdinand de Saussure, sees literature as a system of signs, each with its own internal logic and structure. Ferdinand de Saussure, often considered the father of modern linguistics, introduced a revolutionary idea: language is a system of signs, each consisting of a signifier, the sound or written mark, and the signified, the concept it represents. This relationship is arbitrary, meaning there is no natural connection between the word and what it refers to. This insight opened new avenues for understanding how language and, by extension, literature operate. Structuralism takes Saussure's concept and applies it to literature, viewing texts as networks of relationships among various elements. Just as a city's structure is defined by the arrangement of its streets and buildings, a literary work's meaning is shaped by the system of signs within it. This approach encourages us to see literature not as a reflection of external reality but as a self-contained system that follows its own rules. One of the key insights from structuralism is the concept of binary oppositions. These are pairs of contrasting concepts that many believe form the underlying structure of human thought and language. In literature, these oppositions help organize themes and ideas, providing a deep structure that guides the interpretation of texts. It's as if we're looking at a blueprint of human cognition, revealing how we categorize and understand the world around us. Structuralism's influence extends beyond literature to encompass culture and society, suggesting that all aspects of human life are structured by underlying systems of relationships. This broadens our perspective, allowing us to view literature as part of a larger cultural system, interconnected with various forms of human expression and thought. The journey from new criticism to structuralism represents a significant evolution in literary theory. Where new criticism focused on the text as an autonomous entity, structuralism invites us to see texts as part of a wider system of signs, each contributing to the complex tapestry of human culture and language. This shift has not only expanded our analytical toolkit but also deepened our appreciation for the intricate ways in which literature reflects and shapes our understanding of the world. Delving deeper into the heart of deconstruction, we find ourselves in a vast library of human thought, where every book, every page, whispers the possibility of infinite interpretations. Here, deconstruction isn't just a tool, it's a lens that transforms our understanding of texts from static entities to dynamic, living conversations. Imagine each book in this library not as a closed vessel of meaning but as a portal, inviting us into a dialogue not just with the author's supposed intentions but with the myriad ways in which words and ideas connect, contradict, and converse with each other. Consider the concept of intertextuality, a cornerstone of deconstructive thought, where texts are not isolated works but part of an intricate web of references, influences, and dialogues. Each story, each poem, each essay we engage with doesn't stand alone, it's a node in a vast network, echoing and responding to countless others. As we read through this lens, we start to see not just the surface meanings of a text but the echoes of other texts within it, the subtle nods, the hidden arguments, and the silent conversations between works across time and space. This brings us to the role of the reader in deconstruction. Far from passive consumers of texts, readers are active participants in the creation of meaning. Every reading is a rewriting, a unique act of interpretation that brings new meanings to light. As you, the reader, engage with a text, you're not merely uncovering what's already there, you're contributing to the text, adding to its layers of meaning, its depth, its richness. Your perspective, your experiences, your very presence as a reader breathes new life into the words, making each reading a unique event, a singular interpretation among endless possibilities. Writing is not merely the inscription of thought onto paper or screen, it's an act of engagement with the world of ideas, a dialogue with all that has been thought and said before. Whether wielding a quill pen or typing on a modern keyboard, the writer is part of a continuum, contributing to the ongoing conversation that constitutes culture and knowledge. In deconstruction, writing becomes a form of participation in the vast, intertextual dialogue that shapes our understanding of the world. As we explore deconstruction, we come to realize that the universe of human thought is like a vast constellation, where each idea, each text, is a star, connected to others in patterns of meaning that span across the darkness. In this celestial dance of interpretation, we find that meanings are not fixed stars but rather points of light in a constant state of flux, influenced by the positions and perspectives from which we view them. As scholars, as readers, as human beings engaged in the quest for understanding, deconstruction offers us a way to navigate this constellation, to chart our own courses through the cosmos of culture and knowledge. And that's it for now. We conclude this lesson. For additional information on this lesson, please look at the content below the video in the online course. To get a list of the important questions and their answers for this lesson, please refer to the guidebook by our publications provided to you with this course for free. It shows you a list of all the questions that have the highest chance of coming in your next exams based on research carried out on previous year question papers. All the best, and I'll see you in the next lesson.